Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about out-of-body experiences. And I have this defined as when you feel like you're out of your physical body. So when does this happen? This is going to happen in lucid dreams and after sleep paralysis, in deep meditation, near death, and it will happen permanently at death. And the last one is more and more apparent as you have more OBEs, just because you'll be more familiar with yourself outside of your physical body. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about waking sleep paralysis, considering this is the gateway to having an OBE. Basically, it occurs by exiting REM stage sleep in a way that your muscles are still paralyzed, but you're awake. And it's a perfect time to have an OBE because your brain is calm, because you're recently processing and concluding information in the REM stage, and your muscles are going to be relaxed because they've been paralyzed for a while and they still are paralyzed. So waking sleep paralysis can be disturbing at first. You're not going to have much control over your hallucinations, and you'll see a lot of shadow people, and you'll detect a presence around you. It's your brain just trying to make sense of its own electrical discharges, plus you're trying to, I don't know, make sense of the darkness, who knows. But basically, if you have religious programming or any programming of that sort, it will be very hard to control what you see in your sleep paralysis. Like if you believe in demons, you will see demons, and it'll be hard to make them go away because you believe that that's what these shadows and these silhouette figures are. But really your brain is just trying to manifest something that makes sense and that's easy to manifest, which is going to probably be a silhouette figure of some sort, considering you're probably in darkness. So once you understand how your brain goes about manifesting this random imagery and these entities and stuff like that, it will be more easy to control. But like I said, remove your programming before actually trying to do anything with sleep paralysis. And don't try to use sleep paralysis to enter an OBE while you have like negative thoughts and negative seemingly or perceived negative entities, you know, floating around you and stuff. Anyways, this is how I separate lucid dreams from OBEs, which is only important at this granularity if you wish to document the things, because you got to effectively categorize the two. A lot of people don't really categorize their OBEs right. Like a lot of people will describe their OBEs as I would describe dreams. Like one person might say that they're walking down the sidewalk and they're in their neighborhood, they eat something off their tree. It's just a dream. In OBE, you don't have a body. You're not going to be able to eat things or anything like that. Anyways, here's the lucid dream. Lucid dreams take imagery. Sorry, the imagery and travel take mental exertion. So you're going to have to use mental exertion to conjure up imagery, and you'll have to strategically move imagery around to generate perceived movement. And you're going to have a body of some sort. And you're going to speak a spoken language and use bodily gestures to communicate with others and to make suggestions to yourself. And you'll often be subject to physical world things like friction and gravity, though over time you'll be able to, you know, move through walls and fly and stuff. You'll be less and less subject to these physical world things. You're overcoming your general programming, really. So lucid dreams are going to be image-based. They're going to seem very two-dimensional, and basically it'll be composed of many images or a large image, who knows. And scenes in a lucid dream start with a seed image. You're not going to notice this because it happens instantaneously, but the first image depicts what the scene is. If you control what the seed image is, you control the scene that's generated around it. And that's effectively how you have a lucid dream. Well, that's how you start it. But that's a video of its own, really. So here's an OBE. In OBE, you're going to float and fly around, often uncontrollably, but the movement part is effortless. And you'll have no sense of your physical world, or your physical body, that is. Every once in a while, you might like feel your legs or something just through suggestion, but that's okay. And you're going to see detailed images manifest with no exertion and are very defined. And in OBEs, you can feel things. It's not two-dimensional at all. It's three-dimensional, and if you've had enough OBEs, you'll be able to detect many more dimensions than like 3 dimensions, and it'll seem very, very deep. It's definitely not images. And you'll be able to, like, you know, interpenetrate things at an infinitely fine granularity, which is pretty cool. And you'll often see yourself in an OBE. So I don't ever see myself, but a lot of people report that they see themselves in an OBE, probably because they project in their room somewhere, whereas whenever I project well outside of Earth into space where it's quiet. That's how I've always done it, even when I was a child, so that's why I don't see myself. But you probably will see yourself, and you're not going to see yourself in a dream. That would be very unnatural. OBEs seem significant, so the imagery that you have in an OBE will typically be much more significant than the seemingly nonsensical imagery of a dream. Sometimes dreams will have significant imagery, especially if it's an epic dream, but for the most part, the majority of the imagery manifested in a dream is your brain trying to interpret its own electrical discharges. So OBEs start with a distinct vibration, unless you're using lucid dreaming to enter an OBE, and lucid dreams just kind of start spontaneously, like it just happens, so it's a bit different. So how do you do this? You can do, well, here's a requirement: deep physical relaxation. And you have to get into lucid dreaming, of course. That's the best way of doing it. Because then you get to control your dreams, which is great. As well, once you're able to control your dreams, you're able to control what you hallucinate in sleep paralysis. So then you can use sleep paralysis for an OBE as well. So you can use a dropping, falling, skyrocketing visualization in your dreams, or just in meditation, and you'll be able to have an OBE of some sort. You can use like a swinging bed effect, so you can swing a bed and then eventually swing it upside down and fall out of your body, which is my favorite. And then you can climb a rope, of course. This is a very popular one, just like climb out of your body. I typically never use this. And you can tell yourself things. So you can increase your chances of succeeding in having an OBE just by making suggestions to yourself. Just make some positive suggestions in your head. You don't necessarily need to say them out loud. So I have some OBE areas here. We have the reflections of the physical world. This is not very abstract, and you can interpenetrate everything with little effort, and it's very quiet. So you might just project into your room or something like that and see yourself, and it's going to be pretty quiet. Your cat might be frolicking about, who knows. Here's the second spot. This is abstract places. You might find yourself like entering wormholes, and you'll communicate with non-human entities and communicate non-verbally and non-gesturally through like a very detailed subset of feelings and intent. And you might see some infinitely vast constructs like planes and vortices and stuff like that, and portals and stuff. And there's going to be lots of resistance and flow, like things that are pulling and pushing you, and very elaborate constructs that are like multi-dimensional. And this could be a microscopic portion of, or microscopic perspective of the astral world. You might just be looking at its mechanisms. It has like its own rules, just like how we have physics and then quantum physics. Okay, so this is the void, The void, there's nothing to observe, and there's no orientation, and that's perceived as darkness, but when you're in a void, you can't actually see anything. Like, there's no imagery manifested, so it's like very hard to be negative or see things that are negative in a void. So it's pretty calm. It might feel very odd and unnatural at first because it's just nothingness, but the more you enter a void, the more pleasant it will be. And you can enter a void by just not really wanting to go anywhere when you project. So this is going to be about documenting OBEs, and you should use a rich text edit program that allows you to format things like Microsoft Word, and describe the document. So at the start of it, just ask some questions that you want to be answered, and maybe like a summary of what you want to achieve or whatever, and section the experiences in a way that makes sense. So section the experiences by scenery and by separate stories, and not like the times that they were, you know, experienced. So that way it'll be easier to reflect on them and stuff like that. So reflect on the experience. You can do light specific reflections in parenthesis right in the experience itself, and then afterwards you can do a general experience in a separate paragraph. Sorry, a general reflection. So if you want to know more, let me know. I'll definitely make more videos. Anyway, see you later.